game when it comes to just getting hits. Jose Altuve usually has a good firm hold on that lead in the major leagues, but he's always got Charlie Blackmon in his rearview mirror. They can rack up some knocks between the two of them. It's our Toyota Get Out and Play. Altuve with 131, this year, so leads that. But these two just continue to go out there. They have multi-hit games. They just get their knocks, and the averages stay good for both of these guys. As far as Charlie Blackmon, he's doing a little bit different, leading off that Rockies team. Altuve, the MVP, in the middle of the order. But when you put them side by side, it is really interesting to see these numbers. I should also mention that Altuve has several 200-hit seasons, while Charlie Blackmon got that first one just last year. We're checking him out. Altuve with 976 hits to Charlie Blackmon's 856. But other than that, pretty comparable. The average always good for Altuve. So this should be a good matchup. They're also on two really good offensive club guys, but it should be fun to watch the next couple of days.
More hits for Jose Altuve than Charlie Blackmon, but still two of the best. A 1 hour delay. And if you're wondering, no, it did not rain a drop. There was rain in the area. They didn't even cover the field with the tarps. The Astros are ready to go here in game number 103 of the season. The Astros starting lineup is presented by Southwest Airlines as George Springer put together a solid series. The first stop on this road trip in that three-game series in Anaheim, followed by Alex Bregman and Jose Altuve. Yuli Gurriel, Josh Reddick, and Marwin Gonzalez, the middle third. Max Stassi will bat seventh. Tony Kemp is in the 8 hole, and Gerrit Cole, who is 0 for 5 at the plate this season in interleague play, he bats ninth and gets the start for the Astros. That's a lineup that will be facing 28-year-old Tyler Anderson.
Tyler Anderson doing a good job this season with a 6-3 record in 20 starts, a 121 whip. He has 108 strikeouts and 113 2/3 innings pitched. But the number you like if you're a Colorado Rocky fan is the fact that he's given up a 234 batting average. Now, he is a high fly ball pitcher, but pitches extremely well here at Coors Field. Should be an interesting night. He has a fastball in the low 90s, also cuts it, has a changeup and a curveball. He only throws that curveball about 3% of the time.
AJ telling me before today's game he reminds him a lot of Andrew Heaney, the left-hander in Anaheim that they saw on Sunday. George Springer stands in, and after a 1 hour delay, we are underway. That's in there for strike one. George hitting .253, 16 home runs, 52 driven in. Coming off a good series in Anaheim. The Astros winning 2 out of 3 in that series to start this road trip. This is the start of a quick 2-game series at Coors Field after a day off, and it's 0-2. Astros 66 and 36 in first place in the American League West. Misses upstairs, it's 1-2. Rockies are 53 and 46. Playing some very good baseball. In fact, in the month of July, they have really been able to turn it on. 1-2 misses inside, evens the count at 2-2. Colorado a game back of Arizona in third place. Both of those teams chasing the Los Angeles Dodgers in the National League West. And the count goes full. So George, after falling behind 0-2, count now at 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, George has seen everything. The fastball, the cut fastball, that last pitch changeup buried in the dirt. 3-2 count. Let's see what Anderson does.
Hit on the ground to Trevor Story, and he's safe at first. It's an E6, and what should have been a routine play. That is a good break for the Astros to get this game started.
Yeah, it was just a fastball away at 93 that George got the head out on early. But that quick bobble forced the errant throw from Trevor Story. Not all out, but still hustling down the line is George Springer. And that's what happens when you hustle, you put pressure on that defense and allows one little bobble to lead to an error.
So George on first after the E6. Anderson will throw over a ton. Numbers on Alex Bregman continuing to climb. He's reached base in 25 consecutive games. Look on George's face.
I'll tell you what, little overcast sky right now is really helping out the first baseman, Ian Desmond, at first. Usually holding the guy on early in games here at Coors Field can be a little treacherous.
It's in there for strike one.
And again, we've got our StatCast AI powered by AWS. See a little bit of that pull shift against Alex Bregman. 33% of those balls put in play going to short and 21% going up the middle.
Played it fairly straight up. The second baseman, Gerrit Hampson, somewhat up the middle. This is a big yard. It's obviously here at Mile High City, ball carries even with the Humidor. It's a different game here, isn't it?
Man,
To say the least.
if you're offensive, yes. No lead is safe. See the hesitation in the delivery of Tyler Anderson's going to make it a little tricky for guys at first base. Ash already commenting that he does go over there quite a bit, but that's a little bit of a hang time. Guy Astro fans know pretty well that had a very good pickoff move is Andy Pettit.
A ball and 2 strikes. After going 0-2 on the first 2 hitters, and then getting Springer to hit a routine ground ball to Trevor Story at short, got a runner on at first, and now it's 1-2 to Alex Bregman. Bregman to left, going deep, and you can kiss that one goodbye. 2-run shot, Alex Bregman. Number 21, and the Astros lead 2-0.
Elevate to celebrate. Highest elevation in all of baseball here in Denver. And early, the Astros jumping out of the ballpark, putting up another road home run. That is now 67 home runs on the road for the Houston Astros. And wait for it. I know it's coming.
Where is he? There he is.
There's a hug, and that's right.
Altuve hits that one foul. That is the 25th home run allowed in the first inning by Colorado Rocky pitching. That is the most in all of Major League Baseball.
Look at Alex Bregman's home run on our MD Anderson strike zone, elevated and in. That is a danger zone if you're pitching to Alex Bregman. He is looking for the pitch middle in that he can pull and elevate, and he did just that to get the Astros on the board and making that error pay off.
Altuve to right, that'll dump in for a base hit. First 3 runners have reached, and the Astros with a 2-0 lead with nobody out in the first.
Supermo on the home run, just a 4-seam fastball trying to bust Alex in, but Alex clearing out that front side, a little bit of lag in that barrel until he gets to contact, and then that top hand takes over and just muscles it out of here.
Wanted him to get back to just trying to hit the ball hard, and that is what he did. Yuli Gurriel. That one to right center. Charlie Blackmon over. There's 1 out. Charlie Blackmon is in center field. Parra in left, and Carlos Gonzalez in right for the Colorado Rockies. Trevor Story, Gerrit Hampson, the middle infield. Roland Arenado and Ian Desmond on the corners, and Chris Iannetta is the catcher. Brings up Astros right fielder Josh Reddick. Reddick at 261. A throw over, now Altuve's toast.
Talked about that move from Tyler Anderson. Watch the front leg. Get up there, hang a little bit. Deked him big time. It's borderline. I mean, whether or not that's a balk move, but he keeps that knee. If that knee and that foot cross the rubber, he has to go to home plate. So in staying parallel with the pitching rubber that he's standing on, that's what makes that move so effective.
Quickly 2 outs. There it's strike 1 to Josh Reddick. Ten homers, 31 driven in for Josh. Just did get a piece of that one. It's 0-2. Astros started this road trip by taking 2 out of 3 from the Angels. Rockies coming in here. They had their 7-game winning streak snapped on Sunday. That was against Zach Greinke and the Arizona Diamondbacks.
They're definitely keeping themselves in the conversation as far as that National League West is concerned. Dodgers fighting their way back to the top. Arizona was leading the way there early on. Now just 2.5 back are the Colorado Rockies.
Rockies have also won 5 in a row here at Coors Field. They're actually a 500 team here at Coors Field. They're 7 games over on the road. Two balls and 2 strikes.
And I think the main explanation for that is that the pitching travels. And when you add that to the offense, where these guys have been good, not exceptional like they are here at Coors Field, and you add that pitching to it, it increases their opportunities.
Reddick got the head out on this one. Carlos Gonzalez over, and he'll make the play. That'll retire the side, but the Astros get 2 on Alex Bregman's 21st home run of the season, and going to the bottom of the first, the Astros lead it 2-0. Roland Arenado, Carlos Gonzalez, Story, and Parra, that middle third. Gerrit Hampson, who's just been called up. This will be his 3rd game in the big leagues. Chris Iannetta is behind the plate. Tyler Anderson, tonight's starting pitcher on the mound. He will bat ninth. That's the lineup that will be facing Gerrit Cole, making his 21st start of the season.
Gerrit Cole has been very good all season long in that Astros uniform. That 10-2 record is beautiful, and the innings pitched 128 in a 3rd innings, making the All-Star team this season with 177 strikeouts. The last time he pitched on the road as an Astro in a National League West ballpark, you went pretty good. The only complete game he has this year was back in Arizona where he struck out 16.
As dominant a game has been pitched this season, Charlie Blackmon steps in and takes strike one. Charlie Blackmon, really the best leadoff man as far as the National League is concerned. So the first strike, 288, 19 home runs, 46 driven in. Certainly one of the best, three-time All-Star. "97 miles an hour upstairs." Gerrit last worked on July 14th. That was in a win over the Detroit Tigers. His fourth start, making his fifth start against the Colorado Rockies. Two balls and two strikes. Now we saw fresh arms. We saw guys that looked refreshed, whether it was Dallas Keuchel or Verlander. Now tonight, Gerrit Cole. That's upstairs, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, got him. It is Twitter Tuesday, and I want to know, some questions, Jeff Blum. Some of the, I guess, some of the terminology from baseball that people want to hear about. Tweet us at AT&T Sportsnet SW. Terminology and phrases that you hear Jeff Blum talk about and don't know what he's talking about, he'll explain.
That's going to be a long list of questions. I know you had one the other day.
Which was?
We won't talk about it.
Okay. This one hit to right and hit well in the corner, and that is a foul ball.
What do we got? I think we've got one here.
Yeah, we do.
How
Steve.
about telling everybody what a butcher boy or duck snort is? Two separate things. The butcher boy is usually when a pitcher squares around a bunt early and then pulls the bat back and swings. That's what we called a butcher boy. And duck snort, I believe, originated with Hawk Harrelson. But it wasn't a duck snort at the time. It was a different phrase, and it changed to duck snort to be a little more appropriate for TV. But it's usually a duck snort. It's just a softly hit baseball, much like Jose Altuve's, just over the infield's head for a base hit.
I have not heard butcher boy. No balls and 2 strikes. So when they shorten up the bunt, pull the bat back, a la Greg Maddux.
Yep. And it just, what that does is it brings the infield in to play the bunt. Then they pull the bat back and swing, try and chop it over the head of the infield.
Meaning, there you get, is that where you get to the butcher boy? There you go. So Ian Desmond facing an 0-2 count. As I said, Rockies took 2 out of 3 from Arizona this weekend. Their only loss on Sunday, Ian Desmond. That is called strike 3. He homered in that game, but he'll sit down. 2 up and 2 punch outs. 1 swinging and 1 looking.
Strikeout pitch from Gerrit Cole is a fastball up and away. Catches part of that zone. Ian Desmond's probably arguing off the plate and up. That's actually the 2-seam fastball. That one coming back over the plate. That's not a pitch that Gerrit Cole normally goes to. Down to about 4% of the time he throws that 2-seamer. He's primarily 4-seam fastball.
With that punch out, Gerrit Cole is now 23 strikeouts away from matching a season high in his career. Strike 1. Nolan Arenado at 310. He is the one guy in this lineup that has had success against Gerrit Cole in his career. 5 for 11.
Might be because Nolan Arenado is a highly successful major league player.
Exactly right.
This guy's pretty good. With damage, too.
A couple of home runs. Got a piece of that one. Julie will take it to the first base bag, and that'll retire the side. We go to the second. The Astros lead 2-0.
TT Sportsnet SW is where you can follow us. We're asking today, how important is home field advantage in the playoffs? Is it very important, somewhat important, or not important? Please vote. We'll tell you which one wins later in the broadcast. Kevin?
That's an interesting question for Astro fans, especially when you take into consideration how good the Astros have been on the road. Astros looking to keep it. Man, there's a lot of orange here today.
It was
that out
impressive.
earlier.
It was awesome.
Just everywhere I mean, walking around town today, and we got a chance to get out and do a little sightseeing earlier today, get a little exercise, and man, I ran into a lot of Astros fans.
Seriously, how winded were you the first block? Did you stop, hunch over?
No.
Liar.
Not that bad. Marvin Gonzalez steps in as Marvin leads it off here in the second inning. Alex Bregman with a 2-run home run has the Astros on top, 2-0. 263 interleague hitter. Oh, and 2. Marwin brings a 6-game hitting streak to the plate. This is his first at bat, hitting .421 over those last 6 games. It's outside. Tonight is his 25th start at shortstop. Latest word on Carlos Correa is that Carlos is continuing to progress. Still no timetable as to when he may go out on a rehab assignment, but continuing to progress is the official word. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
3 pitches that Tyler Anderson comes at hitters with, especially on the right side of those fastballs. The 4-seam fastball inside, the cut fastball inside, a little bit of change of pace on that cut, trying to tie up right-handed hitters, jamming. What that does is once he finally stands them up, gets them conscious on the inside corner, see that changeup down and away.
Did he? He did not.
And that's that cut fastball.
That's Jerry Lane at first base, the crew chief. Vic Carapazza is behind the plate, calling the balls and strikes.
Did he?
I'm going to say he did not.
Man, borderline.
Hit on the right side, and that is through for a base hit. Astros' 3rd hit of the ball game. For the 2nd straight inning, the Astros with the leadoff man on.
You'll hear me say in the kitchen, and it's a pitch inside on the inside corner to the hitter. And that Tyler Anderson tried to get in the kitchen of Alex Bregman, but he did a great job of pulling the hands in and turning on it. When I say turn on it, usually a pitch trying to get in on the hands. The guy will turn that front side open a little bit quicker than normal and launch that ball like Alex Bregman did. Therefore, the kitchen was closed.
Quickly.
Absolutely.
Max Stassi. A lot of success against lefties, but this time pops this one up to right field. Carlos Gonzalez goes back, makes the catch right on the warning track.
What else we got? Dwayne is asking, what is a 5 o'clock hitter? So typically a night game starts at 7 o'clock. That means that teams will take batting practice around 5 o'clock. And if you are labeled a 5 o'clock hitter, that means you're not hitting in a big league game. That means you're getting all your hits out of the way at 5 o'clock. And you do not want to be known as a 5 o'clock hitter. Those guys usually have short-term deals.
Not a lot of longevity as far as major leagues, right?
Fans enjoy it.
Well, Tony Kemp had a solid double in that game on Sunday. Almost got one out in Anaheim. Tony hitting .301. Another start here tonight. And starting here left on left as well. That one popped up on the infield. Nolan Arenado was there. 2 away. You really feel the difference in the American League game and the National League game right now. Runner on and 2 outs. That'll bring up Gerrit Cole.
In talking about the last time Gerrit Cole had the chance to hit, he was pitching against the Arizona Diamondbacks, had 16 strikeouts as a pitcher. He added 5 more to it on the other side as a hitter.
How about a pitcher getting 5 ABs?
It's a pretty good lineup and pretty good pitching at the same time, staying in the game that long.
0 for 5 this season, but as you saw, 171 career hitter with the Pirates. That may be his first swing.
As an Astro. He's got 3 tanks on his career. Tanks are home runs. 3 pumps, also home runs. Stakes, he's got 15 in his career.
RBIs.
Yep. Trying to think of what else.
I'm sure we will.
Only 1 duck on the pond. That's just a bad swing.
That was. Astros leave a man, get a hit, leave a man.
over the Rockies, and I'm joined now by a very special guest, part of our AT&T Sportsnet family covering the Rockies on the other side. Jenny Kavnar, 7th season covering these Rockies, 12th of Major League Baseball. But let's get right into your team that you follow. The Rockies are hot. Astros facing them at a really good time for them. But tell me about this first half of the season. What were the expectations for Colorado coming in, and how close were they to meeting them?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they've now won 15 out of their last 19, being one of the hotter teams, coming in, that's what this region expected out of the Rockies. I mean, coming off of a playoff appearance, they made it to the playoffs last year for the first time since 2009. I think expectations were high. The Rockies went out and spent the most money in Major League Baseball on the bullpen, and they, just didn't live up to those expectations early. It was the pitching that lived up, and the hitting wasn't there, and that's always true for Colorado, that they're going to have those bats, they're going to score runs. They weren't doing it, they weren't winning at home, and all of a sudden, that playing field is evened out here over the last couple of weeks.
Sure, offensively, we always see the numbers the Rockies put up, but it was interesting to see the home-road splits, how they struggled a little bit more here at Coors Field. That never happens, right? Is there any explanation for that early in the season?
No, I mean, you can point a little bit to the weather and the scheduling, just a little bizarre out of the gate for this team. I mean, those would sound like excuses, though, I think more than anything that the players wouldn't like. You talk about the hot bats just not getting going. They really needed to rely on Carlos Gonzalez coming back this year, on Ian Desmond. Those guys had slow starts. Even Trevor Story had a slow start. And all of a sudden, once those bats started getting hot, once this lineup started contributing top to bottom, they've really been unstoppable. And I think that's a big deal. You can't just rely on a Nolan Arenado or a Charlie Blackmon every night. It takes a string of guys to get it done.
Sure, Jenny, we'd hoped to sit in some seats tonight and watch the game, but it is packed here. Lastly, what is the atmosphere like when the Houston Astros come to town?
It has been so much fun to see this come alive. I think anytime you say World Series champs and they're coming to town, it's great. I think people from Houston live all over the United States, so I knew this was a game or a series that was circled on the calendar for sure for a lot of people living in Denver. I think since Denver's become more of a transplant city, we're seeing that with visiting teams. We've always seen it with the Cubs and the Braves, but now getting to see the American League teams come in, it's fun to see the atmosphere live up to the hype. Let's hope the game does too, right?
For sure. Should be a fun 2 games here, and then of course we'll see you guys in Houston. You can follow Jenny on AT&T Sports at Rocky Mountain, so catch her there. Also, congratulations on being one of the first females to call Major League Baseball. We're all very proud of you.
Oh man, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I heard you during spring training, so you're right in that club. I really admire all you guys. We have such a great team across the board, and it's so fun to get to see you guys in person.
Absolutely. I had to throw that in there, guys. I'm a big fan of Jenny. Thanks again.
All right, Julia, thank you very much. Speaking of atmosphere, a little drier atmosphere here in Colorado than back home in Houston, even on a cloudy night in which we had a weather delay. Trevor Story fouls this one back.
Jenny Kavnar is one of the best. Yeah, when I was a player with San Diego, she was the Julia Morales of the San Diego Padres at the time. I got to know Jenny pretty well. She's great people, knows the game, and congratulations to her for calling that game for AT&T Sportsnet up here, doing the play-by-play.
Absolutely. Trevor Story, much like a lot of these Colorado Rocky hitters today, behind in the count 0-2. It's outside. Since June 8th, Trevor Story is the best hitter in Major League Baseball. He's hitting .375. National League Player of the Week. There's been quite a story since that slow start.
Well
Native
played.
Texan. That was easy. Swing and a miss. Third strikeout in the first 5 batters for Gerrit Cole.
And just an interesting note on the 3 strikeouts that Gerrit Cole has already. They all been on the fastball. A lot of time in this thin air, the curveball doesn't play as well as it does in other ballparks. So as you're sitting there watching the game and watching Gerrit Cole do his work, just keep in mind how many fastballs he's throwing in this game. We'll update that throughout this game, but it should be pretty interesting.
Eduardo Parra steps in. And it's not a coincidence that when AJ set up his rotation out of the All-Star break that he would have Gerrit Cole and Charlie Morton going in this 2-game series in Denver. Thought it was a really good matchup. Especially with Cole, a guy that can beat you with high fastballs. Gerardo Parra, one of those guys, been way better on the road than he has been here at Coors Field. Astros with the lowest ERA on the road in Major League Baseball. 2.90 ERA away from Minute Maid Park. They also average 6 runs per game on the road. 5.7. That's the best. One ball and 2 strikes. See Marwin playing right side of second base. Alex Bregman plays, basically playing a true shortstop right now. Fourth strikeout of the game for Gerrit Cole. We go to the third. 2-0 Houston.
Certainly feels that way for Alex Bregman. He's done everything for this ball club, but one thing he's done really well, we're getting specific, is against left-handed pitching. Check out the numbers for him in June and July. 397 average, 13-15 OPS. We've also seen the extra base hits go up for him. Those power numbers starting to go up around that time, but still the plate discipline there. But he is crushing lefties, and also, if you remember, hitting some big home runs in the playoffs. Saw some really good left-handed pitchers, guys.
Hitting .304 this season against lefties. That number goes up after that first at bat and the home run in this game tonight. Astros turn the lineup over, start here in the third inning, and George Springer leads it off. George reached on an error, and he would score an Alex Bregman's 2-run home run. Balls at 2 strikes. Anderson, 28 years old. First round draft pick of the Colorado Rockies out of the University of Oregon. So he and Gerrit Cole pitched against each other a few times in the Pac-12. Gerrit Cole was at UCLA. They were both Friday night starters. Both first round picks in 2011. Back up the middle, Story, gloves and throws.
Talking about Alex Bregman against left-handers since 2017. How about George Springer too? 298 batting average. Those guys are almost even in home runs. They might actually be even in home runs after that home run in that first inning for Alex Bregman, but How about that 1-2 punch at the top part of the lineup if you're a left-handed pitcher? George leading off and Alex Bregman hitting second. And once you get past the two guys that are raking lefties, you got to go Altuve and Yuli.
Especially Altuve being one of the obviously the greatest hitters, one of the greatest hitters in baseball today, but then Yuli, a guy who knows how to really focus with runners in scoring position. Yeah, Joe, you want to bring you back in, but AJ was talking earlier about Alex Bregman. When he is at his best, it's not trying to get base hits, it's trying to hit the baseball hard.
And he's definitely done that. We've seen today. But for him, he came into today wanting to hit the baseball hard just because he knows what he's capable of in these conditions. Grew up 6 hours from here in Albuquerque, and so it was actually on his bucket list to play in this ballpark one day. Couldn't wait to get here. Said his family was all going to come. Lots of cousins are going to be here for the game. So he wanted to put on a show, and he didn't waste any time today.
Yeah, they were in their seats early. Well, with the rain delay, I guess they had a little extra time to get in their seats. He takes ball 4. Astros have had a base runner in each of their 3 innings. Brings up Jose Altuve, who singled and was picked off in his first at bat. That single in the first inning for Altuve was Major League leading 132nd of the season. Second in batting average. You know, the little leg kick there with Tyler Anderson as he hesitates a little with that right leg coming home. Did that ever bother you as a hitter? That bother you, just the timing?
It'll mess up your
mechanism?
timing just a little bit. A little bit of the rhythm, especially out of the set position, because sometimes guys can be a little bit quicker to home out of the set position, but it looks like Anderson, with a runner on first base, still uses that to hold the runner and come home.
Altuve said that's not the one he got me on.
Yeah, Jose got the good one. A couple of comments when we showed that pickoff move from Anderson. Why isn't it a balk? Well, it has to be up to the umpire's discretion, and I know that there is a 45-degree angle from that pitching rubber that the pitcher cannot cross as far as the left-handed pitcher going towards first base. But in all honesty, if we're talking about baseball lingo, that 45-degree angle doesn't exist. You can push that as far as you want.
Left-handers are taught too when they throw over to first base to follow the throw, which makes it easier for that umpire to really track that right foot as to where it lands. That one hit right at Trevor Story. Should be 2, and it is. Double play after 2.5. The Astros with a 2-0 lead. Show in town. This week's Friday night fireworks presented by Occidental Petroleum will be synced to music voted by guess who? The fans. Visit astros.com/Friday nights for tickets. Lots of Astro fans in attendance for this one as the Astros opening this two-game series against the Colorado Rockies. First time these two teams have gotten together in quite some time. The Astros have actually won the last 6 head-to-head matchups with the Rockies. Haven't seen each other since 2015. Astros 8-5 this season against the National League so far. Gerrit Hampson leads off. The 3rd round pick of the Colorado Rockies. He was called up and made his major league debut on Saturday. His first game, his 2nd at bat in the big leagues. Hampson had a double against the Arizona Diamondbacks. This is a guy that can really fly. Middle infielder playing second base right now. DJ LeMahieu is on with that oblique injury. He's out. One of the top prospects in their organization. Gerrit Cole has struck out 4 of the first 6 Colorado Rockies he's faced. The Astros with that 2-0 lead here in the 3rd. Look down.
It's coming in hot.
Count holds at 2-2. Cole struck out the first 2 Rockies in the 1st inning and the last 2 in the 2nd inning. Hampson leading off in the 3rd. 3-2. Just upstairs and not by much. Rockies with their first base runner of the game.
Our Best in Texas Power pitcher is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Gerrit Cole has been extremely good this season in an Astros uniform. 2nd time he's been an All-Star. Last time was in 2015, and career best through 20 starts. In 2015, he was 14-2. ERA was at 2.24, which is a phenomenal number, even better than the 2.52 that he comes into this ball game with. That had 177 strikeouts. That is a big number.
We'll keep a close eye on Hampson at first base as Chris Iannetta bats with nobody out in the 3rd. So one of the fastest players in this organization. Iannetta, a 227 hitter. 7 home runs. Oh, and 2.
Iannetta's 2nd stint with the Colorado Rockies, spent some time with the Angels.
Swing and a miss. That now 5 punch outs with 1 out here in the 3rd inning.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, at 88 miles an hour was the first slider you've seen this evening from Gerrit Cole.
It was a good one.
Good timing for it and a very well executed pitch.
This cannot be a comfortable at bat, even though it is right on left for Tyler Anderson.
I'm not too sure I want to stick my nose out over the plate against a guy throwing 96 to 99 miles an hour.
Well, that's the job description when he has that bat in his hand. Bud Black, the Rockies manager, took his team to the postseason last year. Got beat by Arizona in the wild card game. Gets the bunt down, foul. Gerrit Hampson is at first. Drew a leadoff walk. Tyler Anderson's job to get this bunt down and try to get him over to second base. Bregman about 30 feet in on the grass.
Butcher Boy
slaps it up the middle. Marwin steps on the bag, throws it to first, and there's the double play.
That was a great play by Marwin.
Yes, it was. Marwin Gonzalez.
Extremely athletic. He was adjusting to the bunt, and then the ball put in play, make the catch, turn the double play.
The third with Marwin Gonzalez.
And that really helped us explain Butcher Boy too, because that's what Tyler Anderson did. And the reason Marwin was in the way he was is because he was going in to defend against the bunt covering second base for a possible throw. When he saw the pitcher bring the bat back for the swing, you can see clearly Marwin getting the foot on the bag before Hampson gets there. But Marwin Gonzalez, when he caught that baseball, was on an island all by himself and did a phenomenal job of getting to the base before the base runner and turning that double play to keep Gerrit Cole facing the minimum.
And what are the chances you get a chance to actually not only explain Butcher Boy, but then have visual, evidence there?
Yeah, there's a lot of things I can't explain, and that is definitely one of them, because you're right. It's one thing to talk about it and try and explain it, and then to actually see a guy do it. We've got some time, and we're talking about some of the sayings throughout baseball that sometimes get used on air. And a seeing eye single is usually a ground ball, not hit very hard, but just finds itself out of the reach of infielders. We'll also call that a 42 hopper, something that just kind of worms its way into the outfield, killing a couple worms on the way by. Also a worm burner.
Yep.
Something that's along the ground, but just out of the reach of defenders, it ends up being a hit.
Yuli Gurriel He flied out to center field in his first at bat. Hits this one to center again. Blackman back a couple of steps and makes the catch. Well, Yuli has seen 2 pitches in this game in his first experience here at Coors Field. Astros going into play 30 games over 500 at 66 and 36. It's their second best start after 102 games in franchise history to last season. Reddick flied out to right. Astros sent 5 men to the plate in the first inning. A 2-run home run by Alex Bregman, and the Astros were on top 2-0. Reddick on a good run as well. Homered in his last game on Saturday. Didn't play on Sunday. It's in there for a strike. The home run that he hit on Saturday was a bomb, and that was just a couple of pitches later after there had been some little chin music by Jose Alvarez right underneath his Reddick's chin. Backed him off the plate and hit the home run 2 pitches later.
See you working, chin music, another baseball term, and
Trying to help.
yep,
Trying to
you
contribute.
did a very good job too. Fastball up underneath the chin.
Takes ball 4. You hear the woos here at Coors Field.
When the Astros signed Josh Reddick, there was a little bit of concern about how he was going to do against left-handed pitching, and a lot of the reason was that 218 average that you see there in 414 games. He has completely flipped that on its head, hitting .310 in the last 2 years as an Astro, and he has been a huge asset for A.J. Hinch to be able to have his defense on the field against left-handed pitching because the bat's been so good.
Any idea what could flip that switch? Just sometimes guys just grow into, they figure things out, whatever the case may be.
It's approach, and I think it might have been a little bit of a challenge. A.J. Hinch may have challenged him and said, hey, I know the numbers don't say that you're very good against left-handed pitching, but I'm going to give you an opportunity. How you play against left-handed pitching will dictate whether or not I use you against left-handed pitching. And Josh has done extremely well.
Marwin singled in his first at bat. Bats here with Reddick at first base. Max Stassi waits on deck. Ball in the dirt. Astros have had a base runner in each of these first 4 innings. Astros second in the American League with a .260 team average. Second in runs scored with 515. A lot of that damage has been done on the road as well. Lead 2-0 here. He's out at first, second time tonight. Tyler Anderson has picked off an Astro base runner.
I'm not too sure A.J. Reddick is pleased with the call. He might think he's safe, but he got busted on this pickoff move. Another hang time. Did he get the shoulder or the elbow?
I'm not going to challenge. Altuve was picked off, and it was eerily similar because Reddick was going back to first base just like Altuve was, and really was looking in at the hitter whenever Anderson threw over.
Yeah, there's going to be a conversation when you get on first base between A.J. Hinch, Alex Cintron, and those guys on base running. Because apparently Tyler Anderson has a better move than even the scouting report said.
Marwin hits that a mile and then a mile foul.
Well, we are a mile off the
Well, not quite. That you have to get. Although he hit that one, there's a purple line of seats that goes across Coors Field that is at 5,280 feet. There you go. That is exactly 1 mile above sea level. It's a beautiful ballpark. Opened in 1995. Rockies came into existence in 1993. Played the first 2 years at Mile High Stadium. Ball 4, second walk of the inning.
Tickets are available for the final Lone Star Series of the season, presented by Texas Lottery. Cheer on the Astros this weekend as they take on their in-state rivals, the Texas Rangers. For tickets, visit astros.com/tickets.
We talked about it many, many times, how strange it is to be saying goodbye to the Texas Rangers. That is off of Anderson's glove, recovers, and he's able to throw out Max Stassi. 3.5 innings in the books. The Astros lead 2-0.
iTunes or Google Play, or visit attsportsnet.com to stream on your computer. Log in with your cable account and you're all set. Available for those with AT&T Sportsnet in their TV subscription. Blackouts and territorial restrictions apply. Kevin.
All right, Julia. Josh Reddick had a long conversation with first base umpire and crew chief Jerry Lane on his way out to right field. After being picked off, I'm sure a little concerned about that pickoff move as to whether or not where that right foot was landing from Tyler Anderson.
It's umpire's discretion.
Yes, it is. Gerrit Cole works here in the fourth. 9 men up, 9 men down, as far as the Colorado Rockies are concerned. Blackman went to his third All-Star game last week in Washington, D.C. Hopper on the right side. Yuli says, I'll take it myself. And there's one away.
The first 37 pitches that Gerrit Cole used to get through the first time in the order, he threw 34 fastballs. So not much on the off speed, power right arm, just attacking these guys with the fastball. Second time through the order, it'll be interesting to see if he goes that slider maybe a little bit. But it's pretty interesting him having success early on, just bringing the fastball in the mid to upper 90s.
Just missed off the corner with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball to Ian Desmond, who struck out in the first inning. Gerrit Cole struck out 5 of the first 9 through the order for the Rockies. That one hit up the middle. That's the first hit of the game for the Colorado Rockies. Ian Desmond now a 10-game hitting streak. It has been a hot 10-game hitting streak for him.
Yeah, Ian's been swinging the bat well, but stays inside this fastball nicely and just punches it back up the middle. Almost fighting it off. Tried to get in the kitchen.
Good example of pulling the hands in, right?
Yep.
Getting to the baseball.
Yeah, a guy we see do that quite a bit is the guy that Ian's standing next to at first base, usually Gerrit.
Here's Nolan Arenado batting here in the 4th with 1 out. Second base runner of the game for the Rockies. A lot of these Rockies putting together really big numbers over the last 30 games or so. That's why the Rockies have been so good. Winning 15 of their last 19. That's the best record in the National League since June 28th. Good pitch down.
Getting the feel for that slider. Bottom dropped out of that one.
Yes, it did.
Supermo shows you the release and the spin. Having just enough of an effect to get underneath the swing of Nolan Arenado.
A great example of what you just talked about. High fastballs first time through. Their slider down in the zone. Arenado hitting .320 in those last 25 games coming into this one. Also 13 home runs in 25 games. Two and two. Got a run producing machine as well. One's driven in more runs since the middle of June than Nolan Arenado. 30 during that span. Runner goes.
Arenado doing a good job fighting off the slider. And it's not just the movement. You're not going to create the same kind of movement that Gerrit Cole can on that slider here in Denver. But still, the change of speed. We hear Steve Sparks, our radio color analyst, pitched for years in the big leagues. He's almost curious why more guys don't change speed or work speeds off that fastball to get guys out in front.
Missed outside 2-2. Speaking of Sparky, he pitched in the first ever game here at Coors Field. It was an exhibition game against the Milwaukee Brewers.
Did you happen to ask him how the knuckleball was affected by this?
He hated it.
Yeah, it didn't do anything, did it?
Hated it. No, he said it wouldn't move. Plus the dry air, you know, you want to be able to dig the fingernails into the baseball. And he pitched for the Diamondbacks too, and it's very similar in that regard.
Yeah.
This was pre-Humidor days, obviously. Runner goes, foul back. Ian Desmond getting his cardio in. Arenado trying to stay alive. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
It looked like Nolan Arenado was trying to fight that pitch off, and I think the reason being pitch around 99 miles an hour. Man, get it ready. But the second you get it ready for 99 to 100 miles an hour, he puts a little wrinkle on it.
3-2 again. Desmond goes, ball up the middle. Altuve, he'll have to make the play at first base, so they get the runner into scoring position by starting the runner. They'll bring up Carlos Gonzalez with a runner in scoring position at second base.
Talk about cement mixers quite a bit. This is that slider from Gerrit Cole. See the spin, you see the rotation, you see the break. Down and away from the right-handed hitter. It creates a swing and miss. Cement mixer's a slider that backs up or spins up out over the plate with no break. Arenado's anticipating break, didn't get it, and swung over the top of it. Sometimes if you see hitters recognize that early and able to sit back on it, gets launched pretty good too sometimes, but still an effective pitch when the velocity is altered.
Another one for you, something pitchers don't like, hanger.
Yeah, that's basically
that's what brought it up. Carlos Gonzalez, ball got off the glove, went off Stassi's mitt, so Ian Desmond will go into third base and what more than likely will be a pass ball. So a hanger, a breaking ball that's going to spin, the spin is supposed to create break. And sometimes when it does not, it just sits up and spins.
That's a good changeup. Off the plate, Stassi squeezing that glove a little bit too quick, but you can start to see Gerrit Cole going to some different pitches second time through the order.
Runner at third, 2 outs. '98.
98 after a changeup. He ready.
The Rockies spent so much money on the bullpen in the offseason. They got to be looking over at the Astros and saying, have you traded for who? Bring in Gerrit Cole. He is throwing gas tonight.
Not an easy part of this lineup, especially here at home.
Foul back. Ian Desmond singled, 1-out single. Went to second as they started the runner on the ground out by Nolan Arenado. Now at third on a pass ball. Hundo.
It's a good number. Hundo means 100 miles an hour.
Three balls, 2 strikes, runner at third. Swing and a miss, he got him. Gerrit Cole reached back for a little extra. Rockies strand a runner at third, the Astros lead 2-0.
see Nolan Arenado is one of the better third basemen in all of baseball, and we talk about defensive runs saved a lot. He has 61 of them since 2015. That last play was a good example, charging in on a bunt, getting the out at second base. It's not a typical play for a third baseman, but Arenado is one of the more athletic, adventurous, and gutsy third baseman, plays a great third base, also has the bat to go with it.
Well, he is as aggressive as they come, and he'd be hard-pressed to find a better defensive third baseman than Nolan Arenado. That is why it is so difficult. Sacrifice situations are almost impossible against the Rockies. They defend the bunt so well. He's the reason why. Tony Kemp leads it off in the 5th. Popped out to third base his first at bat. Well, Tyler Anderson, a rough start to this game, but he's been able to right the ship since. Astros have had base runners in each of their first 4 at bats. Inside corner, 1-2. Two teams haven't met since 2015. The Astros have matched their longest ever winning streak against the Rockies. They won 6 in a row against Colorado. Tony Kemp. Hampson makes the play. He's 1 away in the 5th. Bring up Gerrit Cole. Gerrit punched out in the 2nd inning. As I said, Gerrit Cole was a starter at UCLA. He and Tyler Anderson would face off. Anderson was at Oregon. Oregon revitalized brought their program back in 2009. He is the first major leaguer out of Oregon since the rebirth of the Ducks baseball program. Did you get a chance to see him when you were doing Pac-12 games?
No, he left too early. I started doing Pac-12 in 2013, but I got to know Coach Horton up there in Eugene pretty good. He started out in Cal State Fullerton, but went up there and developed a very good program. Obviously, the facilities up there are phenomenal. But it would have been fun to call those games. Seen some young arms pitching with that kind of velocity and movement in Division I would have been impressive.
Obviously talent in the area. Oregon State winning the national championship, winning the College World Series this season. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
So I played in the Pac-12 technically.
At Cal.
Yeah, but when I played baseball at Cal, we called it the 6-pack. There were only 6 teams.
Strike 3. Only 6 teams play in the Pac-12.
Yep.
It was the Pac-10 when you were there.
For football.
Yes. Pac-6 for baseball.
Every Sunday home game at Minute Maid Park is Kroger Family Sunday. Bring the whole family out to the ballpark for Family 4-pack that includes 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, and 4 sodas starting at only $70. Visit astros.com/Sundays for tickets and info. Yeah, there were 2 Bay Area teams, 2 Southern California teams, and 2 Arizona teams, and that was it. And we went through each place twice and just pounded on each other. It was some really good baseball.
Tired of seeing one another.
Oh, well, yeah, that led to some issues on Sundays.
I would think so. I mean, that's... yeah. George Springer reached on an error in the 1st inning. He would score on Alex Bregman's 21st home run of the year.
I'm not sure if I've mentioned it before, but I was a junior at Cal when manager A.J. Hinch was a freshman at Stanford.
Ground ball. Another story. This time he is able to throw Springer out. 4.5 in the books. The Astros lead at 2-0. And it has been Gerrit Cole who has been in control for the Houston Astros.
No, he's been great. We talked about the Coors effect, and I think the effect has been on that curveball. Gerrit Cole likes to go to that breaking ball to get the strikeouts, but he's thrown 46 fastballs, only 5 curveballs, 5 sliders, and we saw that changeup last inning to Carlos Gonzalez. So going out, still being effective, but doing a majority of his damage as a pitcher with that fastball.
He faces Trevor Story to lead off in the 5th. Story, a native Texan, who really came on the scene in a big way a couple years ago. Fantastic rookie season for this team. Went to Irving High School here in the Dallas area. Like many Rockies, he struck out in his first at bat. Oh, 0-2. It was Story's error that allowed Springer to reach first base. It was the first run of the game for the Astros. Scored on the 2-run home run. Swing and a miss.
Well, that looked uncomfortable.
Yes, it did. He has now struck out 7 of the first 14 Rockies he has faced.
That was a filthy slider at 89 miles an hour. Again, the ball jumps out. That slider with that short, quick break away from right-handed hitters. Tough pitch to hit.
Just digging in on some of the numbers on Gerrit Cole. He has 74 career home starts. He's 9 games over 500 at home. This is his 74th career road start. So the symmetry is there, but he is 16 games over 500 on the road.
Man, you must never sleep.
You're right, couldn't sleep.
Grinding. It's a good number.
Yeah. 40 and 24 on the road in his career. He has 29 and 20 in home starts. Number 1 overall pick in 2011, debuted 2 years later in 2013. This is his 149th career start. He's allowed a single to Ian Desmond, the only hit he's allowed. That was in the 4th inning. Struck out 7 Colorado Rockies. In that 2011 draft, his Mound opponent tonight, Tyler Anderson, was the 20th pick in that draft. Eduardo Parra, who struck out in his first at bat, steps in for the Rockies. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. 8th strikeout for Gerrit Cole. Join the Astros at Minute Maid Park Saturday as they take on the Rangers. 10,000 fans in attendance will receive a Lone Star Series t-shirt presented by Germania Insurance. For ticket information, visit astros.com/promotions. Gerrit Cole's making this look a lot easier than it is. The start he had at Arizona, which he punched out 16 Diamondbacks. He's got 8 strikeouts in the 5th. Garrett Hampson bats with 2 outs. 1-1. Pitch number 70. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. What is a beautiful night. This game was delayed an hour getting started. It was a weather delay. It never rained here. It never even put the tarp out, but they delayed the game an hour.
It was really overcast, Kevin.
You're going to get cloud burn.
Delicate skin.
Missed outside. I could see the point. It looked like, there was a lot of rain on the radar in the area, so you start
about a half an hour south in Littleton, they were getting crushed.
You start a pitcher, and then you have to stop the game an inning into it. I think that was what they were trying to avoid. You need to hit the rooftop.
I do. I like where your head's at, and I appreciate the encouragement.
A fly ball into center field. That'll retire the side. We go to the 6th. Gerrit Cole is in control. Great styles and great prices during the summer sale going on now. And by Nissan, innovation that excites. A great night for baseball here at Coors Field. Great night for Alex Bregman as well with a 2-run home run. That's the difference in this game. What's Marwin working on there?
Get pine tar buildup. You get icky stuff on there and it gets a little too thick, and you got to get the.
Is that another one of the baseball?
Get the funk off.
Baseball terms.
Yep.
Icky stuff.
Icky.
Alex bats here facing Tyler Anderson. He's reached both times, extending his streak of reaching base to 26 straight games. Two-run home run in the first. Sends this one to center field. One away.
Guess what that was?
That was a can of corn.
Yeah, it was. Usually a routine fly ball, pretty easy to catch. I did some research on it, but you already knew why they call it a can of corn.
I used to work at the general store.
You did?
No. The high shelves, and the store guy would have to click the can of corn down. He'd catch it in his apron.
Easy catch. Can of corn.
Can of corn. Milo loved the can of corn. That was one of his. Jose Altuve 1 for 2. Hit into a 6-4-3 double play his last at bat. Singled in the first and was picked off. One of 2 Astros to be picked off first base tonight by Tyler Anderson.
Baseball has definitely lended its vernacular to some creativity over the years, and it's amazing how some of these words have just stuck for years.
And words that you don't even think about, they just have become part of the vernacular.
Yeah.
The bullpen.
Yep. It's where you keep your bulls until you need them, and then you bring them out of the bullpen.
I thought it was guys telling a lot of stories in there.
Oh, that kind of bull.
That could be that way too.
more likely.
And somebody's going to tweet us the history of the bullpen. Jose's still the best road hitter in baseball at .355 coming into this game. Not been a good, say, last 30 days for Jose Altuve by his standards.
I was going to say, you got to remember where that bar is set when you're talking about Jose Altuve.
A lot of guys would like to have a month in which they hit about .265, which is where he has been. You see a little Andrew Heaney and Tyler Anderson?
A little bit. I like the cutter from Tyler Anderson. A little hesitation in the windup. But Heaney was a guy that really stepped towards that first base side of the field and crossfire, trying to get in on the hands.
Strike 3 call.
There's that cutter. This week on Astros Bases Loaded, we'll recap an exciting All-Astros game. Preston Wilson plays the left center gap at Minute Maid Park, and the writer who predicted the Astros World Championship for Sports Illustrated makes his pick for 2018. All that and more on Astros Bases Loaded after the game on AT&T Sportsnet.
It was an All-Stros game. You gonna leave me there?
Yeah. I'll give you the promo next time too.
Oh, come on. 0-2 to Yuli Gurriel. Astros on top 2-0. Got 2 in the first. Runners reaching in the second, the third, the fourth. Really batting with 2 outs and nobody on here in the 6th inning. On the right side. And Gonzalez is there to make the play. That'll retire the side. Denver, Colorado. The Astros lost one of their family members, Dennis Laborio, for 30 years. He was the clubhouse manager in the Astros clubhouse, and anybody that he ever crossed paths with, they remember him well, and not liked but loved by everybody that ever wore an Astros uniform.
Yeah, he was mercurial to say the least, but he was a part of the old school, and he really did a phenomenal job for us down in the clubhouse. He was a fun guy to be around. He treated us special, and it is a loss. And I was there towards the end when he started to have some issues. And he was just truly a great guy and a fun guy to be around. And there's a lot of things that I remember about Dennis Laborio that I can't repeat on air because he was that interesting to be around and never held anything back. But he was a good friend of mine, and he really made being an Astro a lot of fun to show up in the clubhouse.
Yeah, character to say the least. And I know from the greatest, it didn't matter what your batting average is. You cross paths, and then he loved his players, and they loved him.
Yeah.
He will be missed, but battled with illness over the last few years of his life, and our best go out to the Laboria family. Tyler Anderson bats with nobody on and one out. Oh, look at it.
Gosh.
Wake you up and clear your head in a hurry.
That'll make you ask some questions, too.
He hit a ball. He pulled the bat back after faking the bunt. Hit a ball to Marwin, who stepped on the bag at second base and was able to throw over to complete a 6-3 double play. That was in the third inning. Upstairs at 95. It's 3-0. Strike one. Anderson was ready to turn and head to first base. They're hearing it from the dugout as well. Vic Carapazza quickly looked in that first base dugout. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Strike 3 called. 9th punch out of the game for Gerrit Cole. Are you the ultimate Southwest fan? Louisiana, July is your month to show your spirit. Use hashtag ultimate SW fan. LA on Twitter to show us and you could win a jersey and a VIP experience. So tweet now and win big. Back to the top of the order, Charlie Blackmon 0 for 2. Breaking ball, 84 miles an hour. Works ahead on Blackmon. Ian Desmond with a solid single, the only hit of the game for the Colorado Rockies. Hit well to right. Off the base of the wall, Blackmon into second base. 2-out double for Charlie Blackmon.
First Rocky to get around on a Gerrit Cole fastball, too. National League's version of Jose Altuve is Charlie Blackmon racking up hits, but this fastball up, and he pulls the hands in nicely, gets the barrel above the baseball. That's the tough thing about Gerrit Cole, is getting on top of that four-seam fastball, and Charlie Blackmon did. So a little 2-out lightning.
Well, he is on for Ian Desmond. As I said, Desmond the only hit before that Charlie Blackmon double. He singled in the 4th. Rockies with just their second runner in scoring position in the game. Just their third base runner in the entire ballgame. Desmond, a guy that has been around, has found a home here with the Colorado Rockies. One and one. Ball hit to right at Reddick. And that'll retire the side. Go to the 7th. The Astros leading 2-0.
Last year, where we watched teams shatter the major league record for home runs, all teams are now required to have a climate-controlled room in their ballpark to store baseballs. Nothing new here at Coors Field, who's had to combat the dry conditions. The balls fly, and the numbers prove it. This is the Humidor. It's been here since 2002. I'm sure you've heard of it, but let's take a peek inside, where it's 70 degrees or so, 70% humidity, which is basically a really nice day in Houston. But they're shipped here, they're put in the Humidor immediately. They have to spend 2 weeks on the shelf before they're moved over where they're game ready. The clubhouse attendant will come grab these. These are from May 4th, so these will be the ones they use this series. He'll grab them, he'll rub them up, put them back inside the Humidor. 15 minutes before the game, takes them to the umpire's room. Well, they'll check them out, make sure the consistency is right, and then it's ready to play ball. Guys?
Julia, that's very interesting. Minute Maid Park may be the only place where the Humidor has a lower humidity than outside.
Yeah, do they just leave them on the loading dock in Houston?
That's the Humidor.
No, that's a great story, though, because, you know, Colorado is a place that first instituted it because the home runs, baseball was jumping out of here. I can attest to that, having played in it. But then also Arizona.
Diving stop. Ian Desmond throws over, and an outstanding play as Tyler Anderson was covering. Josh Reddick makes it 1 out in the inning.
Yeah, they're trying to find a way to combat. They thought they built this place big enough, but then all of a sudden those thumpers in the mid to late 90s came in and just started unloading, and they said they had to make an adjustment. Probably a lot of pitchers involved in that conversation, but Arizona is the second highest altitude as far as ballparks, and then you see the home runs being allowed. So the adjustment was put them in the Humidor.
Even the playing field. Well, they had some guys here that could mash. We'll talk closer about one guy in particular. Marwin Gonzalez, 1 for 1. Single and a walk. You talked about those, when you were playing college baseball, you would see same players over, same opponents over and over again. And so I got a couple of things off of Twitter. Thing you don't want to see happen, but could whenever you're around each other too much, would be a Donnybrook.
That might be the first time I've ever heard that.
Donnybrook?
Just getting is that like a fight?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Blummer always hit.
Did you guys jump out of your carriages to go do that?
Bare knuckles. Blummer was always trying to hit frozen ropes, which is a line drive.
Line drive.
Falls behind Marwin, 2-0. 2 balls and a strike.
Man, most home runs in the history of baseball, 2017. Eclipsing what they were doing in 2000. But again, you know, the mentality's a little bit different. Lift and separate, elevate to celebrate. That is definitely the swing path.
Another Story across, and there's 2 away. TXU power player.
Oh, man.
Would be one. Number 50.
Look at that spry
Number
young
1
man.
in your heart. Deep and gone. Feasting on Rockies pitching.
Daryl Kyle. Dave Beers hung me a split. And again, I hit that baseball. I'm like, man, I got to get on second base. By the time I looked up, you know what was interesting about that game? That was just a thunderous game from both sides. But on the other side, the Colorado Rockies had 4 guys with multi-home run games. So 5 multi-home run hitters in that game alone. It was incredible. It was a fun place to hit.
Did you ever find yourself taking yourself out of the game that you were out of your own game? You just tried to hit the ball hard.
Other than the fact I was just looking to swing as hard as I could in case I hit it.
Max Stassi, 0 for 2. You know, you've heard people talk about that at Minute Maid Park, that short porch in left field with the Crawford boxes can take guys out of their game. Maybe trying to spin on it a little early. A ball and 2 strikes. Astros on top, 2-0. Alex Bregman, a 2-run home run in the first inning. First 2 to bat in the game, scored. Strike 3 call. 7th inning stretch time. Now let's send it to Brett Dolan and Mike Stanton in our Rooms to Go lounge.
Walker. Is he Hall of Fame worthy? He has got some great numbers throughout his career. 5-time All-Star, 1997 National League MVP. Showed up here in Colorado in 1995 and just continued to go out there and be a phenomenal hitter. Check some of his baseball reference numbers and they match and they comp pretty well with a guy named Dave Parker. But those numbers, as far as home runs, RBIs, you could get a little bit of an argument out of it. But he has that Coors Field effect. He was doing these things before the Humidor. But for me, playing against Larry Walker, he was one of the more exceptional guys as far as exit velocity. I didn't know what it was back in the day, but I knew that that guy hit the ball incredibly hard.
Hit 258 home runs as a Colorado Rocky. It is 383 career bombs. Nolan Arenado 0 for 2. And that goes back to the question: can you penalize a guy for where he played?
Yeah, it's tough.
Henry Aaron, who make the argument you could certainly put into the conversation as the greatest player of all time. with his 756 home runs. A lot of those hit the place called the launching pad. There's nothing against Henry Aaron. That ball's in the gap, down, and Arenado goes into second base. My point being is, it's just sometimes the numbers are helped by where you are.
Yep.
And you can't change that.
And his home road splits tell you that Coors Field was beneficial to him. In 17 years in Major League Baseball, 10 of those with Colorado. Started out with the Montreal Expos, finished up with St. Louis. But prodigious numbers, the OPS at home, over 1,000. But he was a very good hitter.
Carlos Gonzalez bats after the double by Nolan Arenado. Arenado's 22nd double of the season. Swing and a miss by Gonzalez. Grounded out in the second, struck out in the fourth. The leadoff double by Arenado. Second double of the game. Charlie Blackmon had a 2-out double in the sixth. Gonzalez, obviously the job here, he's thinking put the ball on the right side. Ball and 2 strikes. High and deep, but foul.
My goodness.
The ball was hit a long way.
That thing did not want to come down, did it? That is getting the head out. Some serious hang time, too. Knew he got it just a little too quick. That is an extremely long strike.
Exit velo, 104.
That's it?
A ball and 2 strikes. Arenado at second base after a leadoff double. In the bottom of the 7th inning. Springer over, they'll wave Arenado. Throw comes in, back-to-back doubles, and it's 2-1.
Meat of the lineup starting to figure things out against Gerrit Cole. Couple of pitches middle in and off the inside corner. Tried to get in on him, left that one over the outside part of the inner third of the plate. Wanted to get more inside.
'16th double. And 44th run batted in by Carlos Gonzalez. Ball 1 to Trevor Story. And you say the meat of the order, you're talking about it. Between Arenado, Carlos Gonzalez, and now Trevor Story, who may have came into this game as hot as any of them. 2 balls and no strikes. Colin McHugh, one-time Colorado Rocky, warms up in the Astros bullpen. It's 3-0 to Trevor Story.
Good fastball in the top part of the zone.
The 3-1. Hit to right, Reddick. And Carlos Gonzalez able to get back into second base. That ball was hit hard.
Yeah, that was a BB to right field.
A seed.
Yep, usually when a baseball is hit hard, it shrinks in size because it's moving so quickly. And thankfully here in that thin air, that line drive hangs up and allows Josh Reddick to make the play. First out of the inning is hit pretty hard.
Here's Gerardo Parra. Arenado led off the 7th inning with a double. Back-to-back doubles as Carlos Gonzalez drove him in. It's 2-1.
Well, the Arenado double was the softest hit in this inning at 99 miles an hour. Carlos Gonzalez hit his double at 109.8, and that line out from Trevor Story at 105.2 off the bat.
Number 101 for Gerrit Cole. 2-1. Gerardo Parra into right center. Reddick on a bounce, and this will tie the game at 2. Third hit of the inning, 2 runs are in.
Missed a spot on that one, yanked it in, got in on the hands of Gerardo Parra, but he fought it off nicely. Set it into that vacated area between George and Josh.
But A.J. Hinch comes out and gets the ball from Gerrit Cole. A pitching change in Denver. And a 2-2 game. Back in a moment. different major league seasons. First pitch home run and mile high.
Nice.
Got it?
Yes. I do believe.
Wow, that's
a good
very little confidence for you, because usually
I usually jump
you're
off
all
there.
over it.
Yeah, but I'm a couple of Astros and Rockies. But Colin McHugh on the mound in relief of Gerrit Cole in 33 games this season. He has a beautiful record at 5-0, and that ERA is even better at .96, trying to work out of this jam and get the Astros back in the dugout.
Runner goes. Ball hit into center field, stays up, and this will be a double play. One pitch, and that is getting the job done for Colin McHugh. But we're tied at 2.
Mostly a pitcher's duel tonight so far. At Coors Field, Tyler Anderson pitched well, but allowed the big swing to Alex Bregman. There's the look. His 21st homer of the season gave the Astros an early lead. Gerrit Cole was also pitching really well in this ballpark tonight, was in complete control, but a couple of extra base hits will knock him out of the game in the 7th. 6 1/3 for him tonight. He's going to be frustrated with the way that ended tonight, but a very good night for Cole in this park, guys.
Yeah, Gerrit Cole gave up 5 hits. 3 of those 5 hits came to the final 4 batters he faced.
Sort of missing location a little bit. But again, that third time through the order, sometimes hitters make adjustments to this. Colorado Rockies team is a very good hitting team.
Bud Black is going to come out and get Tyler Anderson. He's on his way to the mound. As Evan Gaddis waited in the on-deck circle.
Yeah, I think they announced him, and that's what brought Bud Black out of the Rockies dugout to make this change.
Solid performance, better than solid for Tyler Anderson tonight. Rockies fans in appreciation, a standing ovation.
are available for kids 12 and under. Buddies, receive 4 tickets to an Astros regular season game, a backpack, cap, socks, and exclusive benefits throughout the year for only $25 plus tax. Visit Astros.com/buddies today to sign up.
Well, Bud Black goes to the bullpen. Adam Ottavino is on to work for the 44th time this season. An outstanding ERA of 1.54.
No, he's been great out of that bullpen. Fastball, cut fastball, slider, and a split. Averaging 94, 95 miles an hour on that fastball.
Face Evan Gattis. Gaddy 1 for 7 as a pinch hitter. And 1 hit, a 2-run home run.
Primarily fastball, slider, 2 right-handed hitters.
The Rockies bullpen, I mean, that has basically been their problem. It has been pitching here at home for this club. See a lot of their starters putting together low ERAs over the last few starts, but the numbers as far as the wins just do not equate. Good pitch to Gattis, and got him.
We've got league leaders, and they're brought to you by Houston Methodist. Fewest games to 400 runs in franchise history. Some notable names on there that everybody knows: Berkman, Bagwell, Cedeno, Morgan. They're all beat out by George Springer. 581 games, getting things done quick. Hitting at the top of the lineup for the Astros, drives the ball out of the ballpark, and also leading off, getting on base, being driven in.
Driving himself in that series against the Angels with the grand slam. Started the game off with a routine ground ball to Trevor Story at short. Story couldn't make the play. Next batter, Alex Bregman left the yard. One and one. Ottavino, a former first-round draft pick of the St. Louis Cardinals. He was 30th overall pick back in 2006. He went to Berkeley High School in Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah, that's close. He's been a beast against right-handed hitters, holding him to a 146 batting average on the season.
Bounced foul. Astros with 2 in the first. Rockies with 2 in the 7th. Good Nolan Arenado tossing the ball up to an Astro fan. You know, he doesn't have much of a choice on that third base side.
The majority of those fans are wearing orange.
He's got his replica ring on. See that?
So many people travel with that thing. It is amazing.
Middle of the 8th, 2-2. 7 big league seasons. First pitch home run and mile high. Kaz Matsui.
Duh.
In his first plate appearance. Remember the Mets, the Rockies, and the Houston Astros. Played here in 2006 and 2007. Well, Joe Smith comes on to work for the Astros. Joe last appeared on Sunday against the Angels. He was one of the few out of the bullpen that had a successful day that day. Faced one batter, got Shohei Ohtani. 3-1 with a 4.05 ERA. He'll face 8, 9, and 1, at least for now. Chris Iannetta 0 for 2. Rockies got 2 in the 7th inning. They bat here in the 8th in a 2-2 game. A ball and a strike. One and two. Hit him on a 1-2 pitch, and the Rockies have the leadoff man on in the 8th.
Iannetta dives, and the combination of Joe Smith throwing that running fastball to the arm side due to that delivery, the ball tails up and in and catches that right forearm of Chris Iannetta. That is not going to feel good.
Iannetta being attended to.
Yeah, that squared him up pretty good. It's a tie ball game and it's late. You don't want to see him injured, but he might have pinch a run for him anyways. Put some speed on the base paths against Joe Smith.
Well, Cuevas is the pinch runner at first base. Right, Mel Tapia is the pinch hitter. He bats in the 9-hole. He had a pinch grand slam on Friday. Squared to bunt, pulled the bat back. Rockies won their game. Game-winning run scored on a grand slam, a pinch grand slam by Tapia on Friday. Came back and won on a home run on Saturday. That was the first time since 1985 that back-to-back games were won on pinch hit home runs. The game-winning run scored on pinch hit home runs. Tapia can't get the bunt down.
Man,
1-1.
that's impressive.
First two Astros that came to the plate in this game scored. Rockies scored 2 in the 7th to tie it. Cuevas close at first base. Tapia. Ball just missed. It's 2-1.
Trying to get the outside corner with that slider. Just off that outside edge. We'll go over our signs again. We didn't see Tapia square around on that. 2-1 is an action count. You might see a little bit of a hit and run, depending on how confident Bud Black is in Tapia.
Called up from Albuquerque on June 30th. He squares the bunt, pushes that one foul. Iannetta hit by a pitch to start this inning. Cuevas is the pinch runner at first base. One out. Big strikeout for Joe Smith.
It's now time for Built for Baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. Lowest combined ERA by a trio of teammates. How about the starting threesome for the Houston Astros and Verlander, Cole, and Morton at a 2.53 ERA. Next best is Bauer, Kluber, and Clevenger with a 2.90. And up in the Northeast, Boston Red Sox have Sale, Rodriguez, and Porcello with a 3.13. Just to give you a little bit better idea of how good those top three ERAs for the Houston Astros are.
Throw over. I think another advantage, too, when you're talking about the postseason, when you've got those three at the top of the rotation, or whatever the case may be, but a lot of times you'll see, obviously we saw it a lot in the postseason last year, but you're going to have starting pitchers that won't be foreign to see them come out of the bullpen. They will have been there and done that. Strike one.
Saw a great example of that last postseason when A.J. Hinch moved Charlie Morton in to close the World Series out. We saw it in the ALCS against the New York Yankees when Lance McCullers came out of that bullpen to close out that Game 7.
Charlie Morton gets the start here tomorrow against John Gray. But sometimes you wonder how a starter might react to coming out of the pen. And you're going to have guys they will know how.
Yeah,
it's what it's like.
No, the knowledge and experience are huge. Now, if you do that in the regular season, you're going to get a visit in your manager's office saying, hey, you're taking starts away from me. But when you say, hey, we've got a postseason and a possible World Series championship on the line, attitude changes a little bit and adjustments are made.
They keep Cuevas close. Back-to-back strikeouts for Joe Smith.
It's a tough guy to strike out. Charlie Blackmon running fastball away at 88. Got him. It's pretty good super mode seeing the delivery and arm action from Joe Smith.
Right on right, right on left. It's a different look. It's just a lot different look than what guys are used to seeing. Here's Ian Desmond. That one hit right at Yuli. Gonna have to run it down. Cuevas goes to third as the ball hit his glove and bounces into right field. Ball was hit hard.
Well, the ball was rocketed, but Yuli's playing in. So he's already turned first base into a hot corner, so to speak, with the runner taking off. But it's also unorthodox to have a right-handed hitter hit a ball that hard, that close to the first base bag.
The runners at first and third. On the error by Yuli Gurriel.
That would have been a hit in Anaheim.
Not here.
Different score.
You got that right. Now Joe Smith facing the tough Nolan Arenado, with runners on the corners in a 2-2 game. 2 outs in the 8th. Oh, 2. Arenado doubled and scored in the 7th. The 0-2.
Count, fastball away, maybe trying to see if Arenado will chase, but kind of getting him looking over that outside third. Now he has the option of trying to throw that fastball inside, or does he try and spin one off the outside corner and create chase?
Popped up on the infield. Yuli back, Altuve over, and Altuve makes the basket catch. And that will retire the side. We go to the ninth. Tied at 2.
Good running play by Kelly Leak, huh?
Thanks for jumping on Twitter, following us, and voting. We asked you tonight, how important is home field advantage in the playoffs? 66% of you say very important. I think the players would agree. I heard that several times when the team came back from the break, because they wanted to win every single game they possibly could, knowing how important that was come postseason time, guys.
Well, I thought it was really interesting to watch the postseason and how the Astros reacted in the postseason, having that roof closed and having their fans cheering them on. And the home record was very indicative of the result of playing in front of their home fans. As Wade Davis, the closer for the Colorado Rockies, comes in here, pitched that top of the ninth. He is 0-2, and he has blown 4 saves on the season, 3.63 ERA, 44 strikeouts in 39 2/3 innings.
Now Tony Wolters comes in and he replaces Chris Iannetta, who was hit by that pitch. Wolters will be batting in the 9 hole, so the double switch with the pitcher spot going into the 8 hole. Alex Bregman leading it off in the 9th.
Got the right part of the Astros order up to try and get this win in the 9th.
Bregman gets on top of that one. Story will throw him out. Who's 1 away in the 9th. Altuve's 1 for 3. Singleton was picked off in the first inning. Outstanding starting pitching in this game. Tyler Anderson went 7 1/3 for the Rockies. Gerrit Cole went 6 1/3 for the Astros. Altuve up the middle. Story spins, throws, got him. MLB.TV is now available at a lower price for $82.99. You can watch out-of-market games live or on demand. The subscription includes At-Bat Premium, allowing you to watch on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV to take advantage of this special offer. you could just come to Denver like a lot of Astro fans have done tonight. Gurriel bats 0 for 3 with 2 outs in the ninth.
2 pitches, 2 outs. The last time the Astros got a hit was Marwin Gonzalez leading off the second inning. Last time they had base runners, there were 2 walks in the 4th inning. The offense has gone extremely quiet.
1-1. First inning, Springer reached on an error. Bregman hit a 2-run home run, and Altuve then singled. There's 3 of the 4 hits tonight for the Astros. And the 4th hit was a leadoff single in the 2nd. One-two pitch. Really had his 13-game hitting streak come to an end on Sunday. Love to start one here. Hit to right. Gonzalez a step in front of the track. Go to the bottom of the ninth in a 2-2 game. By Toyota. Let's go places. By Arctic. Overbuilt, not overpriced. Bottom of the ninth inning in a 2-2 game, and Hector Rondon comes on for the Astros. Rondon got a save on Friday night in Anaheim, which is a perfect ninth inning.
Good numbers on the season for Hector Rondon in 38 games. Taking over that closing role after Ken Giles being sent down to AAA. He has 9 saves on the season. His ERA is pretty good at 1.53 and 46 strikeouts. Again, fastball, very good slider, occasional split.
They'll face Carlos Gonzalez. Carlos Gonzalez will lead it off here in the ninth inning. Gonzalez with that RBI double. Back-to-back doubles by Arenado and Gonzalez led off the 7th inning. Tonight's attendance is brought to you by Cricket. 43,184 on hand for this one tonight at Coors Field. A lot of those cheering for the Astros tonight. On the ground to Yuli, tough play. He'll toss, and there is one away.
Good play by Yuli, also a good play by Rondon, also hustling over there to give him a good target to get that first out of the inning. It's always a big out in these tight situations late. You want to keep that leadoff runner off, and Yuli did a great job of flagging that baseball down with that massive first baseman's mitt. Gave a good feed to Hector Rondon covering.
Trevor Story 0 for 3 with a 13-game hitting streak. On Friday night, Rondon struck out Mike Trout. Justin Upton looking to end the game. Works ahead of Trevor Story. Beg your pardon, 1-1. This is on a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. It's 3-1.
See Hector fixing the landing spot on the mound. Kind of pulled that pitch a little bit at 98. The count favors Trevor Story.
A mile in the air. Who wants it? Bregman. 2 outs.
That was a really good pitch. Slider in a 3-1 count gets Trevor Story out in front. He pops it pretty high in the air. Just a great pitch in a 3-1 count. Luckily gets Trevor Story to pop it up. But to your point, Kevin, that thing was up there with a lot of hang time. I'm surprised Altuve didn't come over and try and take it.
Waving everybody off. Gerardo Parra. His RBI single tied this game at 2. It's where we are in the bottom of the 9th. Strike 1. Oh, and 2.
I like it. Rondon testing that outside corner. May have gotten a pitch early on that outside edge, but trying to go just a little bit further off to get either the call or the chase.
Didn't miss by much. I'd like to say good take by Parra, but what else can you do? Hope he doesn't call it a strike. With 43,000 here tonight. Two of the best offenses in a ballpark where tons of runs are scored. We're in a 2-2 game in the bottom of the 9th inning. The 1-2 pitch. 2-2. Another good try on the outside corner.
Was running fastball.
We go to the 10th. Tied at 2. Ballparks. We're tied at 2 as two teams have combined 4 runs on 8 hits.
Saw that coming, didn't you?
Mile away, my friend, mile away. Wade Davis stays in. He'll work here in the 10th inning.
Well, he looked pretty productive in that last inning he pitched, going 1 inning. Got a couple of quick outs on first 2 pitches.
This is Josh Reddick to lead off the 10th. Reddick 0 for 2, walked in the 4th inning. Sends this one to center field. Blackman comes on, can't make the play, it gets by him. Reddick at least at second base, all the way to the track. He'll go to third as Josh Reddick making things happen.
Be interesting to see how they score that. Definitely a base hit, but are they going to give Charlie Blackman the error to give the extra 2 bases? Josh Reddick realizing he's leading off this inning, not trying to do too much, just put the baseball in play up the middle, get on base. Knows he's got a knock right here with the outfielders playing deep. They already play deep here in Colorado, but no doubles turns into letting up a triple.
I think that's got to be a 2-base error on Charlie Blackman. He got caught halfway in between. It was as if he was thinking, here I am, I'm going to make a play.
Yep. Well, and that's the Colorado air coming into play because he's playing no doubles deep, but that baseball, that line drive staying up just a little bit longer, enticing him to try and make an attempt on it.
Now the infield obviously coming in.
Now this isn't a standard suicide squeeze because Marwin is showing incredibly early to give away what he's trying to do to the defense. But it's a tough call because you don't want to charge too quickly and have another Butcher Boy situation where he chops it and tries to put it past some guys who are charging in.
Reddick at third. The lead off here in the 10th. One and two.
Spray chart on Marwin Gonzalez, but the infield playing in a little bit of a pull side for Trevor Story, creeping up the middle where 34% of those batted balls go for Marwin Gonzalez, but he's looking for something that he can elevate to the outfield, and it's going to be tough against a guy like Wade Davis. A lot of cut and split going down in the zone.
That's a foul ball and a strikeout. So now Stassi will bat with one out and a runner at third.
Tie ball game in the top of the 10th inning. Squaring around to bunt for the strikeout is not one of the more recommended things to go out there and try and do, especially when that's not a play that's put on. I believe that was a choice by Marwin.
And a surprising one.
Well, you just, and this is just my personal opinion, I'd rather go down swinging.
Especially when a fly ball can give you a lead.
The fly ball,
infield's in.
and the infield's playing in too, so there's opportunity.
Max Stassi trying to pick him up here. One out, a runner at third. One and one.
Wade Davis has had some incredible home run numbers against him in the last couple of years. 2014 didn't give up a home run in 72 innings. 2016 didn't give up a home run in 43 and a third innings.
Astros will settle for a medium depth fly ball right now. Reddick obviously can run.
I would be a big fan of a Maximus sacrifice fly to the seats out there in left field for two.
I like the way you think big.
Got to. Coors Field.
Here I am just thinking a silly sacrifice fly.
Well, that's the thing. You know, you have the runner at third base. You're looking for something that you can drive to the outfield, and if good things happen, you eventually drive one out of the ballpark. That'd be great.
2-2.
And Wade Davis doesn't give up the home run. He gave up 4 last year. But he's tough. He's a competitor. Everything he has moves down. Change up, a little bit of a curveball, but that cut fastball has been pretty effective in this inning.
Tony Kemp waits on deck. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Josh Reddick is a good base runner out there at third base too, probably anticipating ball and dirt if something happens to get away from the catcher who just came in, Walters.
Brad Peacock looking on, waiting in the Astros bullpen. Walked him. Astros trying to take advantage of a gift. A single to lead off in the 10th and a two-base error on center fielder Charlie Blackmon.
That's where things get interesting. First and third. That's probably what's bringing Bud Black out of the dugout to have a conversation with his defense and his pitcher. Tony Kemp coming to the plate is a guy who can handle the bat, has a very good idea of the strike zone, and he's a tough guy to double up. But it's a first and third situation with one out where we've seen A.J. Hinch employ that little bit of a safety squeeze where the hitter tries to bunt it towards the first baseman to score that runner from third base.
What do you think that conversation was like with Gary Pettis and Tony Kemp? As A.J. actually, you saw him, he came up above the top step, came out onto the playing surface to have that conversation with the three of them.
And it's what they can possibly do, and it's maybe to take the sequence or the signs out of the equation and just have Gary on the same page with Tony Kemp. Maybe saying, hey, the first two pitches, try and bring that bunt with you. If that doesn't work, we may go to signs and I'll give something to Gary, so keep an eye on him.
Kyle Tucker has come out into the on-deck circle. Kemp 0 for 3. One and 0.
Runner on third base, less than 2 outs. 7 of 9 times that runner has scored for Tony Kemp.
Good man in this position with Reddick at third. 1 out. Ball hit to center. And the Astros take a 3-2 lead. And listen to the crowd here at Coors Field.
That left side of the ballpark just jumped when Tony got that hit. That was beautiful. And how about the AB by TK? Staying up the middle. And that's one of the beautiful things about Tony Kemp is he's not a guy that's going to go out there and try and do too much. He's not going to try and lift and separate and try and drive a ball out of this place. He knows that a simple base hit drives in that go-ahead run. That's right. You earned that one, Tony.
You ever notice how there's some guys that just seem to be in the middle of things when good things are happening?
Well, it's amazing that it happens in the bottom part of the order, but you've got a guy like Tony Kemp at the bottom part of the order who is taking advantage of those situations.
Here's Kyle Tucker. Batting in the 9-hole. Tucker hits this one to right field. Going back, and it's on the track. Tucker turns third. 2 runs are in, and the Astros extend the lead in the 10th to 5-2 on a 2-run triple by Kyle Tucker.
Putting it to the closer of the Rockies. Can I call him Ted on that one?
You better believe you can.
Ted Tucker driving in 2 off the bench. One thing when you're coming off the bench is to be aggressive and get a firm pitch in the zone that you can handle it. Ted did just that, driving it just out of the reach of Carlos Gonzalez out there in right field.
Kyle Tucker's first career big league triple. Drives in 2, and the Astros lead 5-2.
How about the bottom part of the Astros order? Doing some damage here late.
Turns it over to the top to Springer. Infield still stays in.
It's only a 2-game series, but they're putting the pitch count on Wade Davis, the closer of these Rockies, up a little bit right here.
Now Carlos Gonzalez just off his outstretched glove. When you talk about the bottom of the order, how about the young guys? Tony Kemp with an RBI single. Kyle Tucker with a 2-run triple. That is how the Astros have 3 in the 10th. Springer would love to drive in one more here.
Absolutely, and he's got the same mentality. Even though there's been a 3 runs put on that board. He still has the mentality with the runner at third. Get something that you can elevate with authority to the outfield and drive in another run. Keep piling on.
I asked AJ, what is the difference of managing here than anywhere else? He said the biggest difference is that you never take your foot off the accelerator in this ballpark.
That is so true.
Springer to left. Going back, and that one is gone.
I don't know about you, but this escalated pretty quick.
This is fun to watch.
George has been having a rough day up until that swing.
George Springer with his 17th home run of the season. And the Astros now lead it 7-2.
Also plays perfectly into my theory of getting something you can drive the outfield and good things happen, and definitely here at Coors Field.
2 singles, a triple, and a 2-run home run. Now they're going to look at this.
Possible interference on that home run in left field. But George went down. You know, his behind was in the Astros dugout, but the hand stayed back and he got the barrel to it and elevated to left field. But Gerardo Parra in going back. Here's that swing. Got fooled a little bit at 92, but stayed on it, launched it, but there's no interference. Well, I tell you what, the Rocky guy robbed the Colt 45 guy.
Yes, he did. And that is confirmed. That is a home run. Shows you the strength of George Springer, though, even in this ballpark, is that fooled way out in front.
One hand, but on the barrel.
For all intents and purposes, basically just flicks that one to left field. Now a pitching change. And Wade Davis will come out. Astros with some thunder here in the 10th. They lead it 7-2. Seven to 2. George Springer, line drive that got out in a hurry.
That's a cement mixer, by the way, that just stayed out over the plate. George did a good job. Backside going into the dugout, but he keeps the barrel on it. You can see he shoots that line drive at 25 degrees, 384 feet here at Coors Field, just enough to get it over that wall. And Bud Black continuing to see his bullpen implode in some of these games. On the season, coming into this game, not with the runs that have been put on here in the 10th inning. Their bullpen ERA coming into this game for the Rockies, 5.17, which is 28th in all of baseball.
And really struggling in this ballpark as Alex Bregman bats here in the 10th. Bregman a 2-run home run in the first inning. Astros had a 2-0 lead after 2 hitters. They had 3 of their 3 hits in the first, 5 guys that came to the plate in this ball game. Then they went and didn't have another hit until Josh Reddick with that leadoff single in the 10th inning.
Yeah.
I had to double check that. I thought there's no way that's right, but it is.
Well, it's amazing how boring the scorecard got after that hit.
Yeah, I mean, Marwin led off the 2nd inning with a single. The Astros did not have another hit until Reddick's leadoff single. It turned into a 2-base error by Charlie Blackmon at center field. He ended up at 3rd base. Only out in this inning is Marwin Gonzalez, 2-strike bunt foul. There's another hit. Wrapped into the gap. This will be a double for Alex Bregman. 33rd double of the season. Hits just keep on coming.
And extra base hits just keep on coming for Alex Bregman. We talked about the 33rd double. He's also had his 21st home run in that 1st inning to give the Astros those first 2 runs in this game. Got a pretty unique bookmark.
I do my part.
Is that a Jolly Rancher?
It is.
How do you hold that?
Very carefully. Jose Altuve, 1 for 4. And the crowd chanting MVP
In Coors Field.
in Coors Field. Yep. Now going back to Bregman, who stands at 2nd base with that double. Last 33 games, he's got 13 home runs and 13 doubles. Big numbers. He's also driven in 35 runs in those games as well in the last 33 ball games. Astros with 5 in the 10th, lead 7-2. Two and 2. Altuve, the 8th Astro to bat in the inning. Still 1 out. '24-year-old Yency Amante, 2nd pitcher of the inning.
Amante throws pretty hard. Averaging 96 miles an hour on his fastball, has a changeup and a slider.
Astros have hit for the cycle. Let's see. Yep, hit for the cycle in this inning. Reddick and Kemp with singles. Triple by Kyle Tucker. Homer by George Springer, and Alex Bregman stands at 2nd base with a double. You know, it's 7-2 right now. Tony Kemp, that was the big hit in this inning.
Absolutely. Because after the Max Stassi, you got to give him credit too for working that walk, putting it in a situation where Tony Kemp could get up there. But it was the Tony Kemp at bat. I'm with you. It really broke this thing.
RBI single, got the Astros on top, and Kyle Tucker in a pinch would follow with a 3-run triple.
Well, you could just sense and feel the injection of life after he got that base hit to drive in the run. Fans went nuts. Kyle Tucker went up there and ambushed Wade Davis for that big triple.
I said 3-run triple. It was a 2-run triple by Tucker, and then that one is up the middle. Another infield hit for Jose Altuve.
It was a heck of a play just to knock it down and keep another run from scoring.
20th infield hit of the season for Jose Altuve.
He hit a whole lot harder than that drop shot he had in his first AB. That was a seed back up the middle, and a heck of a job laying out.
2nd hit of the night by Altuve.
Even though he was unable to get that out at first base, Altuve burning a trail down to first base. It kept the runner at third base, and you've got a first and third situation and possible double play.
With Yuli Gurriel, the 9th Astro to bat in the inning. This one up the middle, and that'll get through. It's 8-2 Houston. A 6-run 10th.
And stop me if you've heard this. Yuli Gurriel gets a base hit with a runner in scoring position.
Stop. Best in the big leagues.
Yep. Hits are contagious in that dugout right now.
6 runs on 7 hits. Now 8-2. Most of those dressed in purple have headed for the exits. Still a lot of orange left in the seats here at Coors Field. Reddick started this inning with a single to center field. It's skipped by Charlie Blackmon. Reddick would end up at third base with nobody out.
There's that wrist number that Ash was talking about, 439 for Yuli.
A ball and a strike. Reddick also has a walk in this game. 1 for 3. This one up the middle. It should be 2, and it is. But the Astros put together a 10th inning to remember.
Good things happen and a lot of runs scored. And when you go deep, you get a little shimmy and a hug. Astros 8, Rockies 2.
Getting started, what looked like a routine single to center field ended up a 2-base error on Charlie Blackmon, and that was just the start of things to come.
Big walk by Max Stassi put Tony Kemp in a situation to drive in the go-ahead run. And then Kyle, who currently is Ted, with the big 2-run triple. That turned things over to George Springer. Line drive to left, just sneaking out of the ballpark with a little help from a Rockies fan, and then you get yourself a hug. Kemp had himself a good inning, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
A lot of love going around.
Justin Verlander getting in on it as well. Brad Peacock comes in here to work the bottom of the 10th inning. Astros leading it 8-2. 41st appearance for Brad. It's strike one. Gerrit Hampson leading it off. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. The Astros at 34-15, 3 outs away from winning 35 of their first 50 on the road. Charlie Morton goes to the mound tomorrow for the Astros. Goes against John Gray, who's just been recalled from AAA. Coverage begins tomorrow with the pregame show. 8 o'clock. Hampson in the hole, and that's a base hit. His second big league hit. He's got called up on Saturday, doubled in his second at bat in the big leagues. Now he's got a single as well. The pitcher's spot. And Tom Murphy is the pinch hitter, 276 hitter. I told the story earlier that the Rockies on Friday and Saturday in Arizona became the first team since 1985 to have the winning run score via a pinch hit home run. Well, it was Murphy who did it on Saturday. Good slider for Peacock. 0-2. Peacock worked a third of the inning on Saturday, make it on Sunday in Anaheim. No swing. Struck him out. Another good pitch.
Good slider from Brad. Last 3 games have been pretty good for him. But here in this high altitude, able to create spin to get the swing and miss.
Tony Wolters now bats. He came in to replace Chris Iannetta, who was hit by a pitch. His first at bat of the game. It's 2-0. The Astros can hold on here against Bud Black's team. They look for their 7th consecutive win. This could do it. Flip for one, the throw, double play. And the Astros, with a 6-run 10th inning, get the win. Houston goes back to 31 games over 500 at 67-36. George Springer, the big fly. Tony Kemp, a big hit in the 10th. It all started with Josh Reddick's single. The Astros Astros with some late inning heroics and some late inning thunder, and they win it tonight in Colorado, 8-2. We'll come back and wrap things up in just a moment.